Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Michael at Val5 Links bringing this to our attention. A recently published study indicates that money spent on crypto lobbying jumped 116% in 12 months, with $9.56 million leveraged to seek the influence from politicians and public officials. So the money keeps pouring in to lobby governments. Let's take a look at this. Millions of dollars were spent on crypto lobbying and interest representation in 2021. While the digital currency and blockchain industry has matured a great deal, a number of crypto advocates are concerned about regulation and politicians' misunderstanding and innovative technology. This month, researchers from CryptoHead.io published a study that highlights crypto lobbying in 2021 in U.S. politics. The act of persuading bureaucrats into interest representation is lawful, and lobbyists are found in nearly every American industry. So here are the numbers, guys. Crypto lobbying, and this is what the expenditure was in 2021. Robinhood was at the top of the list at $1.35 million. Then we had Ripple Labs at $900,000, followed by Coinbase at $785,000. So CryptoHead.io study written by James Page shows the California-based financial services company Robinhood market. So it's just summarizing what I just said down here. And then lobbyists for 2021, Coinbase with 23 lobbyists at number 1, Robinhood number 2 at 16, and Ripple Labs in number 3 with 12 lobbyists. The big point here, though, the takeaway is this, guys. Crypto lobbying expenditure by year. Take a look at how crypto lobbying has really taken off over the last 5 years or so. In 2017, only $200,000 was spent on crypto lobbying, and we kind of saw that grow slightly, but then boom, by 2020 and 2021, it really just kind of shot up exponentially. And this, I think, is a good synopsis, a good snapshot. It just goes to show us how much money is being poured into the market because of how influential the market is becoming. Don't be fooled. This market is just getting bigger and bigger as the years go on. And so now we are seeing record numbers of money being spent on lobbying, government interest. Of course, governments, especially in the United States, are going to need to provide some clarity. We did recently just get some positive news. I mean, crossing my fingers, maybe some positive news from Gary Gensler at the SEC. I'm going to get to that in a second. First, just wanted to mention this. T-Hole Bedick posted this. Network International partners with Amazon Payment Services on the same day that it partnered with Ripple customer Lulu Money. So take a look at that. Lulu Money, a Ripple partner, they're collaborating with Network International to enable Visa debit card holders to remit money. This just came out yesterday. Lulu International Exchange, one of the leading payment service providers in the UAE, has entered a strategic collaboration with Network International, the leading enabler of digital commerce across the Middle East and Africa, and global payments technology leader Visa to enable users to remit digitally on the Lulu Money payments app using Visa debit cards. Through the partnership, Lulu Exchange aims to drive convenience and ease of money transfer for millions of people in the UAE holding a Visa debit card. The transactions conducted through the Lulu Money app will carry no additional charge or hidden fees and will offer industry-leading processing time at the highest level of service quality. Talking about the partnership, Mr. Richard Wason, CEO of Lulu Financial Group, said the payments ecosystem in the UAE is advancing rapidly, and in this context, creating easier touch points for users to conduct their transactions online will go a long way in building trust. As an active participant of the UAE's payment ecosystem, we see our partnership with Visa, who, by the way, is also Ripple-enabled through Earthport, and Network International as a meaningful collaboration that can drive greater financial inclusion. So just the other week, we heard about the UAE, how much of that country is being Ripple-enabled through a couple of different companies. Lulu Financial Group, definitely one of them. But then, guys, on the same day, this also occurred. Network International partners with Amazon Payment Services to enhance digital payments for merchants also in the UAE. So an interesting connection there. I don't actually have that article up, but it is an interesting connection. Network partners with Amazon Payment Services to enhance digital payment merchants in the UAE. Amazon Payments connected through RippleNet, now through the Lulu Money Exchange. Visa, of course, Ripple-enabled through Earthport, and now their mutual collaborator, Network International, also has integrated with Amazon Payment Services. So very, very interesting connection there. Wanted to thank T-Hole Bedick XRP for posting that. And this one, guys, from Ant1 here on Twitter. Kiwi Bank accelerates real-time services with new ACI Worldwide SaaS solutions. And so ACI is a Ripple-enabled company, but Kiwi Bank has taken the next step in delivering real-time experiences for their customers after entering into a strategic partnership with ACI worldwide. The landmark agreement will see ACI provide and run Kiwi Bank's newly installed fully capable payments hub, an SaaS solution hosted in the Microsoft Azure cloud. The flexibility of ACI's cloud-native payment solution ensures that any service Kiwi Bank requires is available on a secure cloud-based platform. The announcement comes as New Zealand's banking and financial sectors accelerate their transformation to fully digital businesses and prepare for a series of industry changes. Here's a quote: "Due to rapid technological change, many customers now expect almost everything to be available instantaneously, and the payment system is no exception. The nature of cloud technology means we'll be able to do things faster and more efficiently, and we'll be able to deliver those simple and seamless experiences customers now demand." This coming from Elliot Smith, Chief Product and Strategy Officer at Kiwi Bank. The quote continues by saying the business benefits of real-time payments are huge, including enhanced cash flow management and improved liquidity. This improvement will be especially impactful to small merchants that may be used to waiting days for their settlement. So improved liquidity, guys, through XRP, of course, instantaneous payments, saying that this is going to improve small merchants' wait times. They are usually waiting for settlement to occur over multiple days, but with RippleNet XRP integrated systems, like in this example, ACI, connecting to Kiwi Bank, this is definitely going to have an impact on those small to medium-sized businesses in New Zealand. So great news here, guys, coming from down under. Gotta thank Ant1 here for posting that. And another one from Ant1 here, XRP active users spiked to a 3-month high. Now, we recently saw a report on this from Sentiment, but now they're also reporting XRP has increased over 37% in the past 4 days and finally is reacting to its daily active address uptick that started in mid-January. So I did talk about this last month. XRP Network's coin currently sits a tick above 82 cents and is outputting the same addresses as it did in early November at $1.18. So here's what we're noticing from the Sentiment chart here. Let me just bring up the tweet real quickly. Sentiment, XRP has surged 37%. We can see active addresses as of today, and we are at that same level as we were at in November when the price was $1.18. So active addresses, more interest in XRP. Of course, we have seen the price really kind of rally quite significantly over the last several days. As of the time of this recording, XRP is hovering at around 84 cents, but I think it needs a bit of a break. I think we need to see a healthy retracement before we see that trend continuing upwards. You guys can see here a bit of a micro head and shoulders pattern on the smaller time frame, but I don't think this is going to last. I think we are going to continue to see a trend to the upside. Of course, a lot of this is going to be dependent on what Bitcoin does as well. So that's positive news. Wanted to thank Ant1 for posting that. And then I know I have to address it. There are the challenges at the SEC facing cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, facing adoption. This one, guys, a quick thread here by Jeff Costello addressing some of what the SEC is doing, and he says it's bad and it's not getting better anytime soon. Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily think I agree with that 100%. I'm going to go through his thread and we're going to talk a little bit about this. So he starts by saying, for as long as I've been in crypto, which was 2016, there is one legal question that gets asked exponentially more than others. Is my token, and whatever that token is, whether it's Algorand or XLM or XRP, is my token a security? The hard truth is, and I think everybody in crypto should listen to this, the hard truth is no one really knows. Not lawyers, not the SEC, and certainly not the average Twitter user. He says, sometimes you will hear lawyers or people who think they are lawyers throw the Howey test to determine if something is a security. Yes, if something passes the Howey test, it probably is a security and subject to regulation. The problem, though, is that the Howey test is a question of fact. This means that each token must be analyzed based on its own unique facts, context around a token, like how it was marketed, how it was sold, and the direction of a project all need to be considered when thinking about Howey. And this is just on the marketing and selling and investor side of it. There could also be, this is a whole other series of things that Jeff doesn't even consider here. You create a token and it's used for a specific utility. That's something completely separate, but I think for this point, we're just going to focus on selling tokens, tokens having a value and the SEC regulating that. So he goes on to say this wasn't actually that big a deal when security issuances generally flowed through an established pipeline of lawyers, financial institutions, and brokers who hammered each project into roughly the same product. So traditionally, securities have all been kind of the same cutout carbon copy of one another, and they followed a procedure, is what he's saying. These products would be tailored to either pass the Howey or not, depending on what best fit for what business and project. Issuing a security is expensive, so avoid it if you can keep the investor circle small and rich. Because those institutions knew how to play by the rules, that have been around since 1934, by the way, everything mostly worked. Even weird structures like SPACs got hammered into the old rules. Basically, traditional institutions are hammers, so every project must become a nail. This also wasn't that big a deal because at the end of the day, if you were a big player who wanted to raise big money, you had to go to big exchanges like the NYSE to do so. So the rules just seem like a checklist, basically, to get that money. Web3, however, doesn't play by those rules. Now we can scale capital fundraising effortlessly through DAOs and on-chain markets. A good idea can go from a pipe dream to seed funding in 6 hours. This is how crazy this industry is. Literally, you can go from pipe dream to seed funding in 6 hours depending on your idea. The community almost bought the Constitution because of a goddamn Nick Cage meme. Down here, the SEC isn't battling to figure out whether or not your token is a security. They are trying to figure out how to regulate a capital market that have absolutely no handle on it, don't really understand, and can't go to their traditional financial friends to figure it out. And so this, guys, this is the bigger problem. The SEC is scurrying, they're scampering. Those are not the two words that I want to use, but they're basically panicking. They cannot figure out how to rein this in because everything is so dramatically different. And so Jeff says it's a losing fight once people realize they can fund each other's projects. You don't need to go to the banks or other traditional institutions to build and grow. How do you put that genie back in the bottle? It's like people getting a taste of the internet and then deciding to turn it off. Let's look at one example. And then he says he gives a 2013 example of a guy who made headlines selling off shares of himself for a share of his future earnings. This dude was a walking security, but we all sort of laughed it off as a weird SV thing. Now we can do the exact same thing effortlessly with Web3 and stream revenue in real time. Developers could easily sell tokens in their own future earnings or even token holdings. We are all 3 clicks away from being our own security offering. I believe what the internet did to information, Web3 will do for capital. Internet allowed us to communicate with everyone real time with no geographic restrictions. Even boomers can't imagine going back when they couldn't upload pics of their grandkids to the cloud. Web3 will enable capital formation at a global UT grassroots scale. Want to start a t-shirt company with a co-founder in Japan, making t-shirts in Taiwan and selling them in Europe? Easy. Historically, only big traditional backed corporations could bear the cost of organizing that. So the genie is not going back in the bottle, Jeff says. Regulators are talking about whether or not your token is a security under the Howey test, which is a very, very old, antiquated standard. But it doesn't really matter what the answer is. The existing structure is woefully unable to deal with the reinvention of their industry. In my mind, politicians, not regulators, face a stark decision. If they keep punting decisions to regulators like the SEC, which they're doing right now, they are just delaying the inevitable while capital, talent, and creativity goes elsewhere. The SEC can't change the law and will keep trying to apply the Howey test. If politicians are bold, they will see this as an opportunity and it will get reimagined on how financial regulation can work, playing off the strengths of blockchain and Web3. There is room for good regulation in this space, but that's hard for them because their boomer friends in traditional institutions need the existing framework so they can keep hammering nails. Boomers built the greatest economy in the world using those rules and traditions. I understand why they believe it. Ultimately, if US and Western governments want to be free markets, attract talent, innovate, and find efficiencies, they will need to shed the old ways and embrace, at least partially, Web3. It will take longer than we want, but it will happen, and his guess, perhaps in 10 years. So some interesting points in this thread. The US SEC really trying to get a handle on this cryptocurrency thing, but they can't because they're using old rules, and those old rules just do not apply. So do they have to shift the rules, and will they shift the rules? Well, I saw this, guys, from Crypto Eddie, a very interesting little clip from Bloomberg News. This is Gary Gensler. Listen to what he has to say.
We've brought a number of actions. We're trying to work with the various crypto platforms, the exchanges, the lending platforms to come in, get registered, find where we can to adjust our rule set to get the investor protection for the public.
As you say, you've encouraged the exchanges to come in and get registered. At the same time, a lot of them have not, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
At what point do you have to force
that.
You've encouraged the exchanges to come in and get registered. At the same time, a lot of them have not, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
At what point do you have to force
that.
So, kind of a funny little point at the end there. Exchanges are not doing what the SEC wants them to do. Gary Gensler even saying he's noticed that. But if you guys notice what he said over here, the fact that they want to change the rule set.
Where we can to adjust our rule set to get the investor protection for the public.
So is the SEC really looking to change the rule set? Are they going to continue to use the Howey test, or are they going to do something like what Christian Carlo suggested? I did a video about that. I believe it was last month. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. A brand new approach to cryptocurrency regulatory clarity. Of course, part of this is a turf war. The SEC wants their piece of the pie. Maybe this is why they're looking to change the rules a bit. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.